Philadelphia Baseball History presents our picks for the top 5 first basemen in Phillies history. The Phillies have had a number of good first basemen in their history. What follows are the 5 players that we believe stand out as the top first basemen to play for the Phillies. Number 5, Fred Luderus. Born on September 21, 1885 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Fred Luderus joined the National League in 1909 at the age of 23 with the Chicago Cubs. After a year and a half with the Cubs, Luderus was batting only .242 with an OPS of .644. On July 29, 1910, the Cubs traded Luderus to the Phillies for left-handed pitcher Bill Foxen. Foxen only lasted another 2 seasons in the big leagues. Meanwhile, Luderus found his prospects rising. In 21 games with the Phillies in 1910, Luderus batted .294. His batting average rose as a full-time player in 1911 to .301 with 99 RBIs. Luderus' best season was in 1915, the year the Phillies won their first pennant. He hit .315 with 7 home runs, driving in 62 runs. In the World Series, Luderus hit an impressive .438 with a home run and 6 RBIs. His OPS was a remarkable 1.250. Unfortunately, this was in a losing event as the Boston Red Sox beat the Phils in 5 games. In total, Luderus played 10.5 seasons with Philadelphia, batting .278 during that period, knocking in 630 runs, and maintaining an OPS of .744. Luderus was clearly a bright spot in the period when the Phillies tended to play miserably and finish in the second division. Number 4, Jim Thome. Left-handed slugger and Hall of Famer Jim Thome is known mostly for his time with the Indians. Thome became a free agent and signed with the Phillies in December of 2002. He quickly became a fan favorite for his play on the field and his personality off the field. In his first year with the Phils, Thome hit an MLB-leading 47 home runs. He gained 131 RBIs and had an OPS of .958. In 2004, Thome made an All-Star appearance and ended the season with 42 home runs, 105 RBIs, and an OPS of .977. The Phillies traded Thome in the 2005 offseason, but re-signed him in November of 2011 after Ryan Howard tore his Achilles tendon in the playoffs. Unfortunately, back problems plagued Thome and prevented him from playing first base every day. At his request, the Phillies traded Thome to the American League, where he could act as a designated hitter for Baltimore. In 4 years with the Phillies, Thome hit 101 home runs and 281 RBIs while maintaining a .925 OPS. Number 3, John Kruk. Part of the beloved group of blue-collar throwback players of the 1993 Magical Phillies National League Championship season, John Kruk was traded to the Phillies in 1989 along with Randy Reddy of the San Diego Padres. The left-hander initially played in the outfield, but eventually moved to first base. From 1991 through 1993, Kruk was a 3-time All-Star. His most memorable All-Star performance came in 1993 when Kruk faced Giant Hall of Famer Randy Johnson for the first time at the Baltimore All-Star Game. When Johnson's first pitch was a wild fastball, Kruk comically swung at the next 3 pitches just to end his at-bat with the intimidating fastball hurler. In the wild 1993 World Series, despite a nearly impossible season where most of the teams seemed to have career years, the Phils fell to the Toronto Blue Jays in 6 games. In that series, Kruk hit .348 with a .500 on-base percentage. Kruk frequently changed his uniform number with the Phillies. He wore 11 in 1989 to 1990 and 19 in 1990. When Mitch Williams joined the team, Kruk was wearing 28. Kruk traded the number to Williams for a case of beer and wore 29 for the rest of his career. In his 6 years with the Phillies, Kruk had a .308 batting average, scored 403 runs, and posted 390 RBIs with an .861 OPS. Currently, Kruk acts as a TV broadcaster with the Phillies, occasionally sharing the airways with Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt. Number 2, Pete Rose. One of the top prizes of the early days of free agency, Pete Rose signed with the Phillies for the 1979 season. The Phillies placed the switch-hitting Rose at first base, replacing Richie Hebner. The Phillies had won 3 straight Eastern Division championships, but each year failed to get beyond the first round of the playoffs. The Phillies brought Rose in to push the team over the hump and make it to the World Series. However, the Phillies had a disappointing 1979 season, finishing 4th in the division. Rose, however, hit .331 with 208 hits and a National League leading .418 on-base percentage, earning an All-Star appearance. In 1980, Rose helped lead the Phillies to their first-ever World Championship, batting .282 and scoring 95 runs. In the 1980 NLCS against Houston, Rose hit .400 with an on-base percentage of .520. In the strike-shortened 1981 season, Rose hit .300 in a losing effort against the Expos in the Eastern Divisional Playoffs. 1983 found Rose reunited with former Reds teammates Tony Perez and Joe Morgan. The team was seen as aging by the sports press and pejoratively called the Wheeze Kids, a play on the Whiz Kids nickname of the 1950 Phillies. The Wheeze Kids surprised the league by earning another pennant. In the 1983 NLCS against the Dodgers, Rose hit .375 with a .412 OBP. In the World Series, Rose hit .313, but the Phillies fell to the Orioles. In 5 years with the Phillies, Rose earned 4 All-Star appearances. Ultimately, Pete Rose's legacy in baseball is mixed. He ended his career as the all-time hit leader and is remembered by Philadelphia fans as helping to bring the first World Championship to the Phillies. However, he ended his career in infamy. Rose was banned from baseball due to gambling while managing the Reds. Despite his incredible career, Rose is excluded from the Hall of Fame due to his gambling on baseball. In 2017, Rose was scheduled to be honored by the Phillies by being placed on the team's Wall of Fame. However, testimony by Rose from a defamation lawsuit leaked. In that testimony, Rose admitted that he had had an affair with a 16-year-old girl when he was 34. Rose rationalized the affair by claiming that 16 was the age of consent in Ohio at the time. By mutual agreement, Rose and the Phillies canceled the ceremony to place Rose on the Wall of Fame. And our pick for the top first baseman in Phillies history, Ryan Howard. Left-handed power hitter Ryan Howard burst onto the scene in 2005 after the Phillies traded Jim Thome. Howard earned the 2005 Rookie of the Year award, batting .288 with 63 RBIs and an OPS of .924 in 88 games. In 2006, Howard led the major leagues in home runs and set a team season home run record with 58. Howard also led the majors with 149 RBIs. He hit an impressive 1.04 OPS. His performance earned him an All-Star appearance and the National League MVP award. Howard's playoff performance was mixed. In 2008, after a slow start in the NLDS, Howard hit .300 in the NLCS against the Dodgers and .288 in the World Series against Tampa Bay with 3 home runs. Howard dominated the 2009 National League playoffs, hitting .375 and driving in 6 runs in the NLDS versus Colorado, and batting .333 with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs in the NLCS against Los Angeles, where he was named MVP. Howard's performance dropped off in the World Series, with his batting average falling to .240 and hitting only 1 home run in a losing effort against the Yankees. Unfortunately, in the 2011 NLDS against St. Louis, Howard tore his Achilles tendon running out a ground ball for the last play of the series. Although the Phillies had won 102 games during the season on the backs of the 4 aces, Cliff Lee, Roy Halladay, Roy Oswalt, and Cole Hamels, the Phillies lost to St. Louis in the first round of the playoffs. With Howard facing a difficult recovery, the Phillies signed Jim Thome to return to Philadelphia for the 2012 season. Howard played in 71 games that season, but his batting average dropped to .219 and he hit only 14 home runs. Sadly, Howard never fully recovered from injury. In addition, by that time, the use of the defensive shift against left-handed power hitters had spread through the league, which affected Howard's hitting. Howard played until 2016, spending all 13 years with the Phillies. Howard is second in Phillies history in home runs with 382, behind only Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt. He is also third in team history in RBIs with 1,194, behind Hall of Famer Schmidt and Ed Delahanty. Thank you for watching. If you disagree with our picks, let us know in the comments below who you think belongs in the top 5 Phillies first basemen. Please consider subscribing to our channel, and please give us a like if you enjoyed watching this.